The Countif function is used to only count the cells that meet certain pre-specified criteria. There are two arguments in the Countif function. The first argument is a range. You have to specify what is the range you want Excel to count. The second argument is criteria. You have to specify what is the criteria that you want Excel to consider while counting. Be aware that all the criteria in Excel must be enclosed in a double quotation mark. In this example, we downloaded the weekly stock prices for Merck in the year 2006. We want to know how many of its weekly returns are greater than 2%. First, we perform a quick count function to find out how many weeks are in 2006. The answer is 52. Next, we want to see how many of the 52 weekly returns are greater than 2%. We will use a Countif function to find out the answer. To use a Countif function, we first have to specify the range for all the weekly returns. Then we have to add the criteria greater than 2%. So the range is for the returns is here. And the second argument is criteria, which is greater than 2%. Enter, and the answer shows 15 out of the 52 weekly returns are greater than 2%. So far, we embedded the criteria manually into the formula in order to find out how many returns in a year that meet our criteria. That means every time you want to revise to a different criteria, you have to manually edit the previous criteria in the formula to make the new formula work. This practice is called hard-coding criteria, and it will inevitably introduce man-made error in the calculation. A better way to include criteria in the formula is to create different cutoff points for the criteria, and then use the text function in Excel to combine the cutoff points with a desirable logical operative like greater than, smaller than, or equal. So in this example here, we create a cutoff point of 1%. We want to see how many of those weekly returns are greater than the cutoff point of 1%. So in order to use a Countif function to automate this process, first argument, we have to specify the range for weekly returns. And the second argument, we have to use the text function in order to combine the cutoff point with our criteria into our criteria. The way to do it is first use the double quotation mark to enclose a logical operative. In this case, is greater. And then use the ampersand and text, and then specify what is the value that you want to use the text reformat. So the value here is in reference to this 1%. And then the second argument in text, you want to tell Excel what is the format you want this text to show. And since the cutoff points is in percentage, and therefore the text format should be in percentage. Okay, now this way you automate the cutoff point, the inclusion of the cutoff point into the criteria. Enter, and then the answer shows you 21 out of the 52 weekly returns are greater than 1. So this way, whenever you want to revise or change the criteria, you can just change the number for cutoff points here. For example, if I want to see how many weekly returns are greater than 2%, I can just change 1 to 2. And this formula, since it's being automated, is going to update automatically into the correct value.